Hi, I'm Tracy Fessenden. I am the co-director of the Recovering Truth Project at the Center for the Study of Religion and Conflict at ASU. And I'm delighted to be here today with my colleague, Ali Hussein, who is a project fellow in Recovering Truth. And Ali is an assistant professor at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication. His areas of expertise include social media, social influence, emotions, and persuasion. So very much a man of the moment. And he's talking to me now from Pakistan, where it's actually 5 a.m. So thank you so much, Ali, for being here. We're very, very impressed and grateful to you for getting up so early to have this conversation. So I want to just invite you to say a little bit about what drew you to the Recovering Truth Project.
What brings me to the Recovering Truth Project? I think it's a very important topic, not only in today's era, but it has been since eons. And I think if you go back in history, from a religious point of view, this has always been the most burning issue. And scholars and practitioners and everybody has always wrote about it and thought about it and tried to solve the issue. But the problem has been consistently going on. And my topic of interest, as you know, is social media engagement. And because of social media and new and emerging technologies, the problem has been extensively amplified. And so at the same time, not only it is more difficult to solve, it has also become a more complex issue to understand. And that's why I'm interested in this project.
Thank you. So you, I think, have a very valuable and trusted perspective on this question I'm going to ask you. Are we now living in a post-truth moment?
Help me understand a little bit about how do you define the post-truth movement?
Are we living in an era where truth has lost its currency, where it's not, where the question of whether something is true is no longer the most important question? Has truth ceased to matter as much as it has up until now?
I have done some research on nostalgic emotions, nostalgia. So nostalgia is an emotion that has to do with our past, the good old days when things were better. And the scholars looking into nostalgia have said that the past may not be repeating itself, but it is surely recycling. So what they mean by this is that it comes back again in a new packaging. So I think we are not living in a post-truth era. I feel like we are still living in an era where there is a battle going on between false and truth. But this problem has been repackaged in a way which needs to be redefined and understood in a different way. And I think speaking truth is very human. It's inherent in our DNA, in our psychology, in our brain and everything. We want to speak the truth because our mind is built to survive. Our mind does not want to die. Our mind does everything it can to protect us. And our mind and our soul knows that our protection is in the basic ethics and character and moral values. One of them is truth and second is justice. So we can never go to post-truth era. We will always strive back to come to truthful era.
Well, I hope you're right. As you know, there are plenty of people who disagree with that perspective. I want to ask you, as someone who has expertise in social media, what role has social media played in getting us to this point where truth does seem to be, in the minds of many people, dispensable, a second order reality? What role has social media played in getting us to this place?
Sure. So social media is another form of the communication. And going back to the time when people were going to the caves and putting their handprints on the walls, that was a form of communication. And then we move on, and then there were newspapers, and then there was magazines, and then there were radio, and then TV, and satellite, and mobile phone, and iPads, and and social media going on. So what I understand that if you look into this timeline, we see that the technologies were changing and evolving, communication technologies, which were influencing how people make decisions, how people receive information, and all of these things. But now, what we see because of the role of social media is that the humans are evolving. It's we who are changing. the way we are using and consuming information. And I think so. The audience, the social media role is that it has changed the audience. It has changed us fundamentally. Our, for example, younger people, the millennials, even younger than them, are now different than we were, or the one before. So I think that's the role of social media. There's another very important point to social media is that social media does not create a new reality. It amplifies what is already existing there, and so but it amplifies it multiple times, and that makes things very complex.
Mhm. I'm thinking about something Pope Francis said recently, that rumors can be a very real evil. So there are many different perspectives from religious traditions that help us navigate this question of truth. What are some ways that on social media we can be more mindful of the truth and better custodians of the truth, would you say?
Yes. Uh, I think one of the ways we can do it is by understanding the tools to verify the information on social media. And now there are many of these tools. If you want, at the end of this video, I can share a list of those tools for all those who are interested. And these are the tools developed by people who understand how social media works, how people make decisions, how people understand and interpret information, and how they are deceived and how they are manipulated and not being informed. So they understand the psychology and they understand what is going on. So these are the tools which can be a browser plugin, or they can be the tools that you can use to verify images and videos and animations and sound and so many other ways that we can actually use it quickly on our cell phones and iPads to verify if this is a, a truthful piece of information or there is false in it. Or another important thing is that sometimes it is mixed. It's half truth and half false, and that is the most dangerous form, where
Mm-hmm.
half truth is being presented, and so we can sort of dissect it that this shade is not right and this shade seems to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've heard the term recently of information laundering, which I find fascinating. I think it refers to what you're describing, a set of information which includes a mix of both truth and falsehood. And because the truths are so compelling, the falsehoods sort of sneak in as contraband. So very important guidance that you've suggested for our time. We'll certainly be able to promote some of that when we share this video. So thank you, Ali, very much. This has been so helpful.